Morning, guys. What's going on? Let's see what's going on today. Economic calendar. We already had our high impact news for the day about half hour ago, so should be good for the rest of the day. Hop back here. Start at US30 like always. Start fresh. Let's clear it. Hide the volume for a second. Let's take a look at our weekly candle. So we're pushing pretty bearish here. We rejected resistance up top. Now we flip bearish on the weekly candle. Looks like we're coming into some kind of support down in here. Go to the daily. Getting real close to this support area, so we need to be careful trying to sell US30. Looking at the 4 hour, it's been dropping pretty heavily over the last 3 days without really any retracement. So I think it's definitely due for retracement soon to fill these inefficiencies up in here, but it could just keep dropping looking at how bearish it is right now. So drop down even more. Look at the 1 hour, starting to kind of reject a little bit, make some pushes up. Drop down even more. Morning, AB. Going on, my boy? Yeah. So we rejected a little bit down here. We have this wick. I'm gonna mark this low right there. Oops, that was the wrong tool. I'm gonna mark this low right here. Now, looking at this is kind of tricky because there's really nothing too clean here. I guess we can mark this high right now. We need it to kind of reject and hang out for a sec right here before we were able to take any buys above there. So we'll see if it kind of slows down for a second until the opening bell. Hopefully we get a better trade today. Go to NASDAQ. Might have to switch to NASDAQ again today if we don't get anything on US30. But looking at the weekly candle on NASDAQ, there's a lot more room. We flipped bearish. Yesterday this candle was up here bullish, and then today we're kind of flipping bearish to the downside. So there's a lot more room on this pair, or sorry, on this indices. Looking at the weekly candle, there's rejections down there, but really the daily has room to kind of come down to 107-ish. Yesterday's daily candle rejected pretty hard up here, these levels, and flipped bearish, closed strong bearish. Today's candle really hasn't made a top wick yet, so that's kind of concerning if we want to see continue to the downside. It's going to be a little more risky to take a sell once we break down because there really hasn't been any retracement up in here. So at any time this candle could decide to break this high, flip, and come back up and reject somewhere within here before flipping bearish. So it's overall it's definitely bearish on the daily, but it hasn't made that retracement to kind of give us that confluence that it wants to continue. We're also within these rejection zones now. This obviously is a zone that has been rejected multiple times for both buyers and sellers, so we need to be careful here, especially on the lower time frames. Can't get faked out around here. So we had a nice hourly bullish candle reject down here and close to the upside. So see, I think this was the news candle 6:30, so we can kind of drop down and see what that did. Look like it made a quick move down, and then we kind of retrace that, and now we're breaking structure to the upside. So we're gonna go ahead and mark this high here, and we're gonna mark this low right there. But sells are definitely risky because of this area that we're in, so we need to navigate this pretty cautiously. Dropping down to the 5-minute here, you can kind of see that the range we're in now, we made this move down. Now we're just going to consolidate for a second. Once we come to the high volume times, once we break this high, we can take buys to the upside here. So there's really nothing stopping us here. Let's go up one. I mean, really no major supports. These really aren't anything to worry, or resistance. These are not anything to really worry about right now, but we're gonna mark the next level just so we know how far we really have till the next point where it could potentially turn around. Looks like we're starting to drop a little bit on the 5 minute. Let's go to SPX. Clear that. Same candle as NASDAQ. We were bullish yesterday, we're flipping bearish today. There's a little bit more room on here as well than there is on, actually, yeah, there's a little bit more room here to the downside. Yesterday's bearish candle. Today, same thing as NASDAQ. We haven't made that wake up, but we're pushing down right now. So there's kind of this little support right here too that we need to be careful of. It could turn around right there, or somewhere within this area, really. Looking at the hourly, we've made a pretty big impulse starting yesterday's New York session. Basically, we made that move down, and it hasn't retraced yet today. So today I could definitely see kind of some moves back up to retrace into those levels for sure. That would be awesome for today. 5 minutes, same kind of setup here. We've got our high up here. We just need to watch that, and low down there. So let's take a look at DXY real fast. DXY weekly candle. Get rid of these fibs real fast. Okay, so we rejected that area. We talked about it coming to 101.5 for about 2 weeks now. We came in and we tapped into there and we rejected. Let's take a look at the daily candles. Let's get rid of all this drawing real fast. Okay. Yesterday's candle closed as a doji candle, so wick down, close back up, close right in the middle. So today it's going to be difficult to navigate this as far as where we think it's going to go, because we're now within this range. Looking at the 4 hour, you can see that we have made this push down and we consolidated now. So we're going to need some volume to break us out of this range. Once we break that high, then we could potentially come up to 103,500-ish area, somewhere within here. And then this low is already within that rejection zone, so anything below there, who knows if it's going to continue. It could continue as far down as 101.3 and turn around. But if we start breaking 101.280-ish, then we're probably going to start heading down to the next area, which is 100.3. So it's kind of what we're looking for on the DXY. So we're just kind of within this range here. Looking at the 15 minute, you can kind of see an even clearer, more refined range. Let's select these real fast. You can kind of see a clearer, more refined range right here. So we've got a high up there, and we got a low right here basically. So now you can see we're inside the range on the 4 hour, and then on the hourly we're also within a range. So now we wait for a break of the high here to test that 4 hour range high up there, and if there's enough volume, then it should push through there. So same with the sells. Once we break below here, there's really clean movement down to the downside to test that low of that range. So let's take a look at Bitcoin real fast. Okay, Bitcoin is, we talked about it rejecting this area potentially. I think it was on Monday. We've got this big support area right there on the weekly. Looks like we're kind of rejecting that right now on the daily. Look here, we're flipping bearish candles here. So we put in this hop wick there. So potentially we could see a flip of this bullish candle. Once it starts flipping bearish and breaks its own low here, we're going to push down to break this previous day candle's low. Once that low's broken, there's nothing within here that's going to stop that from retracing. It could retrace somewhere down within here, could consolidate a little and then turn around and make another move up, or it really could just turn around right here. It's a weekly level, and you know how Bitcoin's been the last pretty much year. So it did break this high right here just barely. But I'm not going to put too much weight on that because this is a big rejection zone in there. So I'm expecting at least a retracement somewhere within 1800 levels on Bitcoin. Looking at the hourly, we got a low right there at 20,245. So once that low is broken, that's where moves to the downside are pretty easy. GBPJPY, weekly candle. Bullish, but we're rejecting that area up in there. Looks like this area's been rejected several times throughout the last couple weeks. Right in there. Let's drop to the daily, get a better idea of what's going on, and we can see we've got a little bit of consolidation here. A little sideways movement within here. Let's mark the high up there, and we'll mark the low right there. And looks like yesterday's daily candle closed with a pretty strong rejection wick. Today's candle put in a low before a high, so it's kind of a signal that, hey, we're putting in a low now. Once this candle flips the high here, probably going to come up and we're going to fill this wick a little bit, at least partially. Who knows? We could fill the whole thing and come up and test this range to the top. So once that top's broken, then we really have free movements up into 166.485. Looking at the 4 hour, just kind of see even more consolidation. Let's drop down to the 15-minute. Yeah, there's really not much going on here besides this kind of sideways movement right there. So EURUSD, okay, looks like we are on our weekly candle. We have made a high and a low. Looks like the low was probably made where's the low? Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. Yesterday was when the low was made. So today's candle's looking like we're gonna head bullish. We made a low already right here. Now we're starting to push up. We do have this area up in here where we've had a lot of rejections, where we need to be careful. But looks like EURUSD is probably gonna head upwards today. Looking at our levels, we've got a high up there, and really we've got a low right there. So we're within this range now, so we just need to wait there. Once that high is broken, probably going to come up and test that yesterday's high, which is 101.08992. So overall, probably bullish on EURUSD. It's hard not to be when you're looking at this weekly structure, and each of these candles are pushing up. On the weekly, there's really nothing stopping it till 1.105 up in there. So it is due for retracement, but I'm not sure that's going to happen at least today. Just looking at how this daily candle's printed already. You're watching for your bearish move on what? EURUSD? What do you think of GU? Let's look at it. Okay, GU. So again, we are in this interesting zone right here where it could start to reject within there. So we got to be careful with any buys there. But looking at these daily candles, we're putting in lows here, and we're respecting candle lows for now. So as long as this keeps happening, we're probably going to push. We might fill this wick a little today. I'm not sure we're going to reach the high. We can mark that high up there. But looks like we're heading up, at least for now. If we look at the 15-minute, we can get a clear idea of the range that we're consolidating within now. So we kind of made this big push up. Now we're retracing within here. So above this high right here, there's really nothing stopping it from coming up and retesting the high up there. So once we break up above 101.23588-ish, that level, that's when we should see continuation to the upside there. But if it is going to decide to retrace today, then all we really need is a push below 1.23133. So you're watching for your bearish move on gold and EU. Your bearish move on like lower time frames or like swing trade? Because right here, I could definitely see gold turning around somewhere right here. Looking at the weekly candle, we're coming up and we're coming into these rejection areas. It depends how you draw it. Looks like if you draw it from from where the move down starts, we're right about 786 from the actual high. We're coming up on the 718 level, so we could start to see rejections around here. We already put in a low here. Looks like this candle might flip to the bullish side for the rest of the week. Once this high is broken to the upside, that candle will flip bullish, the weekly candle, and if we break that high and the candle flips bullish, then we're probably going to continue heading up, and we're going to test these highs up in there somewhere around 20 or so below. Next level is 1981. So gold at the weekly 76. Yeah, it is. I guess it depends how you draw it. If you start from there, then yes, it is. But it's hard to sell it when it looks like that, for sure. So it's definitely due for retracement. We've had a pretty steady kind of crawl to the upside with very little retracements within there. So it's due for retracement, but who knows when. It could be today, it could be next week. We could just keep pushing up. There's no rule saying that it has to retrace at this point. Jump back here real fast. Okay, so we kind of made this new little range on the 5 minute that we're in now. Here and here, so we'll just keep an eye on that. Let's drop to the 1 minute. Sorry, I was just testing this to make sure it was working. Alrighty. Look here, NASDAQ also kind of made that move down, rejected there, and SPX as well. So which one of these pairs looks cleanest? I think they all pretty much look the same today. So yeah, really a break at this high in about 9 minutes. We've got 9 minutes until the opening candle. Once we break that high, we should be able to have a nice clean push up to the upside. Yeah, 5 minute candles, we're starting to put in lows here as well, and we're respecting those lows. So this candle has got 3 minutes left on it. It might, as long as we keep respecting these lows, then we're probably going to make a push up. As soon as this flips to the upside, we'll probably make our push up. I hope that this candle isn't the one that breaks this high. Buys above 33.072. And if we did this, 35 points there. I'm actually going to set a buy stop today. I'm going to set my buy stop up there. I'm going to wait a second though until we get a little closer to the open and we get a little closer to this level. So we're going to wait a sec actually. Let's jump back to DXY, see what's going on there. DXY is kind of pushing down. DXY is in a very ugly range right now. Just kind of wicking both directions. So if this wants to push down, hopefully US30 should continue pushing to the upside. On the 2 minute, you can see a little bit of bullish structure we're putting in here, putting in higher highs and higher lows, higher high and higher low. So now, put in this low down here. We just need to respect that low to create a new high up within there. You can see all the structure that we're breaking in here. This is very ugly structure, but you know, we're breaking structure nonetheless. So, and looks like we kind of rejected this area up there. So that's just kind of an area we need to be cautious about. But this high, once that high is broken, there's really we should have a continuation to the upside. So 5-minute candle is starting to flip bullish here. So if we wanted to put our stops, it'd probably be somewhere down here, about 30 points to the downside. So your trade would look something probably like, actually we've got 30 seconds till the next candle, so we can just wait till the next candle to form and kind of tell us if it wants to continue up. If not, we got 5 minutes till the open. That's where the volume will increase. We can throw this back on there. Volume's starting to kind of die off as we get closer, which is pretty normal. You start to see it die for a couple minutes before the open, and then the open comes and really just pushes it in whatever direction. So okay, so that 5-minute candle closed bearish. Let's look at what's going on the 1 hour. Kind of had a little break of structure here on the 1 hour. Now we're putting in this. I wonder if we're going to reject here and start moving to the downside. It's a possibility for sure. Keep an eye on this 5-minute candle. This is the one we need to watch. This is the one right before the opening bell. So in about 4 minutes, it's going to start picking up volume. That's where we can try to find our execution on what direction to take this trade, as long as it shows us where it wants to go first. NASDAQ and SPX really aren't moving as much as US30. US30 is dropping, and the other two are just kind of sitting there, not really dropping. DXY is dropping as well. Looks like we're kind of dropping out of this range, probably coming down, test the lows down here, somewhere within these areas. US30 is also dropping, while SPX and NASDAQ are just sitting there. Okay. We've got, turn that down. We've got 4 minutes until the New York Open. So if you're going to be entering in this any kind of trade right now, just be careful. You got a lot of volume and volatility in the market, so you got to be fast. Always kind of secure your profits fast, because a lot of times it will push one direction fast. It'll give you a lot of profit in there, and if you don't take it, a lot of times it'll suck back in and go back the other direction. So be fast with moving your stops to break even. Be fast with moving or taking partial profits there. And you'll be good. So looking at this 5-minute candle, we're starting to flip bullish. We put in that low right there. 2 minutes left for the open. We're probably going to start pushing up to the upside now. So yeah, probably buys above 33,076. Buy stop above 3306 probably. So if we do push up, I'm expecting a move to at least up to 33,105, but probably even higher. 33,140-ish level. But we want to see this candle kind of push up towards the end so that the next candle can open and just immediately push up. We don't want to see it come and close down here. Sure. So we've got a minute 35 until then. Looks like SPX and NASDAQ are both going to start pushing up on their own here. We could probably honestly play NASDAQ breaking the high. You could probably do a little buy limit above here as well. Let's let's try it today. We're gonna go on NASDAQ. We're gonna wait a second, but if we start breaking this high, then we're probably gonna play this on the low. NASDAQ's breaking the high. So you could, I'm not gonna play NASDAQ, but it's definitely a valid setup on NASDAQ for sure. SPX is pushing up, and looks like US30 is starting to push bearish, or sorry, bullish to the upside. So I've got a buy stop above here. My stop loss is going to be probably down somewhere within here. Yeah, somewhere up in there. We've got 21 seconds until the open. So just be careful with this. It's going to have a lot of volatility coming in soon. Looks like volume's picking up more than it did yesterday as well. We're starting to break above all these other candles volume, so good sign today. A little more volume in the market, hopefully. Okay, here's our open. Okay, we're probably, yep, okay, we're in. Okay, now we're making our move up. Okay, come on. Keep pushing up. We hit 101. Not yet, we were close. Okay, TP1 is going to be right here. T1 right there. We were like 8 points off of that, so hopefully that plays out. Looks like we should have played NASDAQ because that's pushing up pretty hard, but this should follow as long as SPX and NASDAQ are both pushing up. This looks like it's going to continue to the upside. That hit yet? TP at 1 to 2. Nice. That was 3 points away from hitting. Not the kind of rejection you want to see either, so looks like it's starting to flip bearish. Might be in trouble. If you were able to take profits, then nice, but it was really close. And looks like we might be flipping to the downside here, potentially. So we put in that low now, so as long as that low is respected, we're going to be alright, for sure. DXY is still dropping. We're testing that level now. We just need this to give us at least one more push up to the upside. Okay, let's look at the 1 minute. We need this candle to close bullish. We got 10 seconds on it. Hopefully we keep going up. 6 seconds there. NASDAQ is continuing to push up. We might need to look at trading more NASDAQ because the last 2 days between NASDAQ and US30, they both made the same move, but NASDAQ has pushed way harder, longer distances than US30 has for sure. So we just need to break this high up there. Then we should have another push to the upside. So come on, we need this 1 hour candle to just keep pushing. Give us a little bit more momentum here. And we can TP right there, TP1. At this point, we've rejected a couple times, so you can definitely... okay, there we go. So now that our TP1 is hit, we're going to move our stop loss to break even. and we're going to close 70% of our position here. Sorry. So our SL is at entry point. So now it's a risk-free trade. We already took profits again. Another day, another win. So yeah, just securing profits there. Make sure your SL is at your entry. So either way, you made money. You don't lose anything today. Let's go to the 5-minute candle. 5-minute candle looks pretty. It's gonna close in 30 seconds. So kind of how this closes is really dependent on if it's gonna continue to the upside or if we're just gonna stop us at break even. But again, we already took profits up in here, so it was a good day. One thing we could have done a little better, I think, is waited for this candle. We took an early buy and our stop was a little big, so we could have even put our stop a little lower, or a little higher, but it's all good. We were able to take profit there, and it looks like we might get our SL hit at our entry, but 70% of our position was closed up here, so should be good there. NASDAQ and SPX are falling a little bit. DXY is retracing, so that all makes sense there. Was there anything else we were watching? GU, I think. Gold. Maybe he was waiting for a gold down, move to the downside. Kind of rejecting a little bit up there. Looks like this is gonna hit. Yep. Okay, so that hit our entry again, but again, another day of profit. So we didn't have a trade on Tuesday. Yesterday we had the same type of trade where we got TP1 only, but these small profits, they add up over time. So all you gotta do is every day try to secure a little bit of profit. Don't try to hit any home runs or anything like that, and you'll just slowly build your account over time, and you'll be good. So moving SL to break even. Thanks for the play, bro. Yes, sir. Even though you just got hit at break even, most likely, depending on where you entered. You took profits at TP1. Hell yeah, dude. Good stuff. Now we're done for the day, right? I think we talked about that last week. Don't risk anymore. You already made money for the day, so call it a day. There you go, AB. There you go. That's why I take profits pretty easy, because on these 5-minute candles, it likes to push back to the entries a lot. So looks like we might push up here. I've got about 4 minutes before I gotta run, but we can keep watching for just a second. Looking at 5-minute candle structure on these right here, we are in a healthy bullish trend. We've got a low put in, we got a low put in, we got a low put in, we got a low put in, and a low put in. So looking at each of these, that means each of these candles on the lower time frames are basically just doing this. It might even be on like a 1 minute or like a 30-second time frame, but we're trending to the upside here. Once you start seeing a low get broken, so if this candle comes and it breaks this low down here, then we've got a break structure on the lower time frames, and that's where you might start seeing it shift. Because as everyone knows, when you have a trend change, it starts from the lower time frames and moves upwards. So you can kind of use this as your key to start taking more profits once you see those break, because the lower time frames are starting to shift structure. But for now, we put in that low and we're respecting it. So should continue to the upside until we start to see that kind of structure be broken. And we have a new kind of consolidation range that we are in here on the 1 minute. So just kind of moving sideways at about 8 o'clock. So in 22 minutes, you'll probably see, if it doesn't happen before then, you'll probably see another big move either way. It's probably going to be to the downside because we had this move up at the open, and around 8 o'clock, 30 minutes after the open, it likes to kind of correct that move a little bit. For the most part, it doesn't always. Sometimes it continues in the same direction. You usually get another spike of volume at about 8 o'clock. Sometimes it continues in the same direction, but a lot of times it retraces what it did earlier in the session. good there. GU still within that range. Bitcoin kind of making a little bit of bullish structure here. Probably coming in to test somewhere within this zone again before it decides if it's gonna turn around or push through this big zone. But it is a weekly zone, so I don't expect it to happen anytime soon. It's not gonna be easy to break for sure. The XY came in, we tested this level. We called that from the very start of today's live. Now we could see it kind of push back up, which would make sense with US30 flipping candles at the open. And wow, if you didn't put your stop break even, then you're taking off right now. So that's kind of what we were talking about with the lower time frame structure. We were respecting lows here on each of these 5-minute candles, and now we made that push up. Sheesh is right. But that's gonna do it for me today. I gotta run a little early today, a little busy, so good trade today. Hopefully some of you guys made some profit. I know hopefully you said you closed at TP1, so that's good. But I'll be back again tomorrow as always. I'll see you then, so have a good day, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright.